Hi there, everybody, and welcome back to Spark Notes. This is a series where we go over a character that I've been learning, and we kind of break down their kit and sort of explain things of how they're supposed to work in a team fight, how you might want to be getting a goal out of them, what is your primary objective, and so on and so forth. Today, we are covering Captain America. This has been my actual second favorite character in the game. I know that I said that about Loki, but after learning this character, it has been nothing but fun. Every game is different, every game is creative, everything is so different for you, and you have a lot of agency to do what you want with this character so long as you are getting results and doing well. We'll go ahead and talk about his kit first and foremost. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is his primary fire, Sentinel Strike. Get up close to strike enemies. Landing the second hit enables a shield throw that can ricochet 4 times. Now, this acts just as it reads. You get 2 melees, boom, boom, and you have your throw. And you get four of these things. It's okay damage. It's 5 more than his base hit, which I think is 40, so it does 45. So at the end of the day, it's not that big of a damage bump, but it is super duper good for poke. Really, really good at chasing down enemies that might be low. Not too terrible, pretty serviceable, especially for just a basic attack on a tank. The next ability we're going to talk about is the left shift, which is his bread and butter. This is the leading dash, boost speed, and enable fearless leap to leap into the air. So this is just a sprint that has the property of making your jump higher and gives you access to another ability that we will talk about in just a moment. So this is really, really nice because you can actually get into really, really weird spots with this, and it allows you to kind of move around the map freely and do as you wish to kind of get into good spots to dive and pressure the other players on the other team, whether that be a squishy support or DPS, etc. So we'll go ahead and talk about the next ability, Vibranium Energy Saw. Hurl the energy charged shield to strike enemies in a path, and I believe this ricochets 5 times. So this is going to be your shield throw ability. It is E for those on PC. I'm not sure what it is on console. Pressing the button will allow it to ricochet, and this also works if you throw it at the floor, but each bounce does less damage than the first. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it on the Galactabot. The first little chunk did a bit more. That's pretty serviceable, actually, but that's not bad damage on the ability itself, and that is a lot less as compared to the first bounce on the second Galactabot, for sure. But overall, not a bad ability. It's really, really, really good for chasing down enemies that are low. Super duper good because it also tracks invisible characters like Invisible Woman. They cannot hide from this ability if you know their general area and they have a little less than a quarter HP. You can throw that shield down, and so long as they don't get any healing, they will dive to it. Really nice. Next ability we're going to talk about is Liberty Rush. Raise the shield and charge forward. This ability is more of an engage ability, much like another ability we'll talk about in here in a second, where you go in and you charge forward. Doesn't do much damage at all. It does less than a basic attack, but it is really solid for leaving engagements. So say we go ahead and we start punching this guy, we dove in, we're killing the Galactabot, we got our kill, we want to reset our cooldowns, we just back up. Not bad, we get our HP back, and we are ready to run back in so long as the ability is coming off cooldown. And just like that, you get your kill, you're out of there, go back to your team, play with your tank a little bit, and back up. Next ability we'll talk about is the Super Soldier Slam. Slam down from the sky onto the targeted area, launching up enemies. So this is only able to be triggered whenever you're airborne, and it is super duper good to pair with the sprint as you jump higher while it's going on. So if we go ahead and take a look while jumping, if you guys look at the screen, there is a circle that will appear on the floor of where your crosshair is. And upon pressing your primary fire, you will dunk down, doing a little bit of damage and knocking up, which is super duper good whenever you pair it with the dash button that you can use to escape. And we can go ahead and just wait on the cooldown to pop back up for the dash, and then we can show the alternate version of this where we engage. Maybe it's a small corridor. You engage with the dash, you get your kill, and you use the slam to get out. It covers a really, really big area of distance. You're a lot harder to hit in it compared to a regular, like, forward-moving dash, as you are not going vertically. You're, well, like, vertically as in, like, you're not moving just straight. You are going more of an arc, so it's a lot harder to hit you. And you're a lot faster because you're in your sprint mode. The next thing we'll talk about is Living Legend. Probably one of the more underrated abilities on this character's kit. Raise the shield to deflect incoming projectiles, sending them ricocheting to random directions. This ability is really solid. It is only a 400 shield, so you're not really protecting your team from really big projectiles like Wanda ult or anything like that. But you are really good at protecting yourself from CC. This covers all CC in the game for the most part. Bucky cannot hook you through it, cannot be frozen. If Mantis throws the sleep directly at the shield, you will reflect it. Eye of Agamotto will not pierce the shield. Scarlet Witch will not kill you through the shield so long as you are looking at her. It is very solid and acts just as any other shield in the game, which is a very big benefit to Captain America. The biggest problem that I have with it is that it does not help your team in literally any capacity at all. Thank you for the follow to those of you that just followed me on Twitch. I appreciate it big time. But so that is a pretty big issue that I take with it. But other than that, it is super duper good at charging in. You're able to deflect a lot of projectiles coming in. That can be a big problem. It is really nice for being able to kind of run around the point really quick. If you're trying to bait out a stun, weaving in and out like this can be really scary for the support. You can toss it in there with a few of your like basic attacks. Not bad. As long as the cooldown comes up, it does have a 1-second refresh rate, so you cannot use it like Strange does and just pop it up whenever you want. But so long as the cooldown's up and you know that something is coming, you can throw it up. You know, throw the stun back at them, whether it's the Luna Freeze or whatnot, and you can go back in, do some more damage. Really, really nice. The last ability that we're going to talk about is the Freedom Charge, the most underrated part about his kit, very misunderstood. Shield held high, carve a path forward, granting both himself and allies along the moving path continuous bonus health and movement boosts. Using Living Legend and Leading Dash while this ability is active can launch enemies. Now, while just talking about the benefits of the movement that you get out of this ultimate, you go Sonic speed. You are incredibly fast when in your new ability, Freedom Charge. Not new. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, you pop it. It is a pretty sizable increase to your speed. We're talking, this is one hell of a trek. You go pretty quick. You're a lot harder to hit in it. Super duper good for that kind of thing. Not bad at all. We'll go ahead and talk about the properties that it gives as well. The first thing that I want to go over is the bonus health that you get. So upon popping it, you start and you just start gaining and getting rampant health. This is pretty much a pseudo support ult. It's super duper good for Cat because you were incredibly hard to kill. And we will get into kind of the use case of that in a moment. The other things about it are that your sprint now becomes a knockback. Really, really good for zoning people off the point. And your dash also becomes a knockback. So that's a really, really cool part about it that a lot of people might not understand. It provides a lot of ways to kind of get people off of your supports if you're doing it that way, but also cause and disrupt and just anchor onto a point. Using this ultimate on a point, unless all 6 people are looking at you, pretty much renders you unkillable unless you were CC'd, unluckily. So you're really, really strong. You have to pretty much be ulted to get out of it. Not bad at all. And if teammates do play around you while you're using it, they also get some bonus HP, which is never a bad thing. Biggest issue with the ultimate that I have is that it honestly just doesn't give any damage. I could do for some, maybe just the ranged attack, make him only have the ranged attack whenever he's in it, or what have you. Just give it a little bit more love in the damage department. I think we'll be good to go on that one. Let's go ahead and talk about kind of the aspects of the kit that you might want to take into the game when playing Cap. So this character is not super duper readily apparent as to what his motives are compared to other characters. Yes, obviously he is a dive, but when do you want to? In my opinion, Captain America plays kind of like Magic. Don't hate me in the comments. This is pretty much true, in my opinion. You really, really, really get a lot of value out of kind of getting your stacks, backing off for a second, and then diving with the stacks that you have, allowing you to kind of throw the shield and chase them down a lot better. You get a lot of value out of having the stacks up, especially if you're good at landing your things and getting out. Once your cooldowns are gone, you play around your tank and you start playing. Let me emphasize, Cap is not a solo tank character unless you are playing all dive. This character cannot do it alone. It is not in his arsenal to do, and that is not the point of this pick. I really, really advise people, this might be worse. Him being the solo tank is worse than Magic being paired with one tank that is kind of not wanting to walk up. You don't give your team anything, and because this character with the shield, he cannot play like Doctor Strange, Magneto, etc. Next thing that I want to kind of go over is that you get a lot of value out of getting good at your auto cancels. So what do I mean by that? Your primary fire can be canceled by using your sprint button, which is super duper handy. So if we go ahead and take a look at what the base damage is without doing it, that's not bad. It's pretty okay for like all melees, but if we go ahead and mix in the sprint and just by pressing the sprint button after the animation of the hit goes off, that is a lot better. The only issue with this is that you can really mess up the timing of your range attacks by using the sprint too early. And what do I mean by that? If you sprint while the shield is in the air, it will immediately return to you no matter what happens. So if you don't hit the person with it and it is just shy, you will not get the hit out of it. And I'll go ahead and show what that looks like. So as you can see, it's just not... It's not connecting. Right here, we're not... From this range, we're not even hitting the robot because we were just dashing too soon after. So you really want to go off of the sound of that clang, 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 because that is when you'll know you are actually landing the attack. You can throw one of your shield throws in there, that like your ability shield throw, and it'll do pretty good damage, pretty serviceable. Okay, so next thing is we're going to talk about what Cap kind of wants to do and how he's going to get onto supports in this game or squishies, because those are your primary target. You can help Brawl with your tank. You're not going to do a whole lot of damage, but it's really, really nice to pressure and help out. Captain America, we'll go ahead and say that our tank is over at 30 meters and their tank is at 10, and we are coming up and they're about to collide. To match our tank, their Strange, for instance, pushes up to 15. Our tank pushes up to 15, but their supports are still over here at 5, kind of being a safe distance. When they get far away like this, Captain America is really good at diving, getting his one, doing a little bit more damage. Whenever they turn around, we are out of there, and we go ahead and leave. Super duper nice, super duper good. And we wait on a refresh. We really, really need to make sure that we have both of our dash and our slam up, and then we can go back in. Same thing. Captain America is really good at picking out the weak link of a team and then kind of exploiting them, because getting killed by this character feels really, really egregious. It's very monotonous, and you will be on walk out of spawn simulator because, simply put, supports cannot kill him. They cannot 1v1 him. The only time I've ever been 1v1 by a support was a cracked Jeff the Shark movement player that was going all over the place. But you get what I mean. Captain America struggles if everybody starts looking at him whenever he's in this situation. But what's nice about this is because we are not using both our dash and slam, we are always going to have a way out to return back to the home of our tanks, which is really, really nice. But the problem with this is that both of his cooldowns are on a pretty lengthy one being on, I believe, 8 seconds, the other being on 10. So you have to do a lot of waiting afterward. But whenever you have both, no matter if it's the dash that you engage with or the slam, you always have an answer to leave, and that's what is super duper important about this character. It's super duper important as well. I'm saying that a lot, but there's a lot of importance here that you are aware. Captain America is not going to be the character that's going to be having all of the stats. It's not going to look like you're carrying a game, and people are going to flame you for that because your stats are not going to be the highest. The point of this character is not to drop 40,000 damage and 80,000 shielding. That's never been the intention. The point is to be a harasser mosquito that is really obnoxious and can hold down a team really well whenever he needs to by anchoring with his ult or making space. And what do I mean by making space with the ult? We'll go ahead and say that the cart is here on the 30 meters, and they are coming out of spawn over here at the 5, and we really need to make it to 10 meters. What you can do on Cap to ensure that you are keeping the space is, even if all 6 people are there, so long as you are comfortable and you're not getting CC'd, you can jump in and start going ham. You get low, pop this ult. In this ultimate, you are damn near unkillable unless you were hit by a CC, which you can deflect, or an ultimate such as like Namor ult. Wanda ult can be a bit of a problem because then you have to stop and look at it and you can't deflect with the shield anymore. You have other ults like Punisher ult can be a really big sting in the butt for this character. But even if they support ult, you're still controlling 6 people, taking it aggro. Even if you capture the eyes of 4, that's enough to help your team win the fight, and then you put your faith in them to make sure they win, and you're doing your job. That is really important. Taking space, taking key positions, making sure these spaces that are up top, maybe there's a Hela up here, we are doing our best to kind of force her out of this spot and just be a really big nuisance, beat her down a little bit, get her out of the spot, and we're jumping back to the comfort of our tank and going home. Really, really important. Really great at this kind of thing. And I love this character. I think that the biggest thing that I can recommend to everybody is have fun while playing Captain America. This character thrives in the realm of creativity. He does absolute wonders for himself whenever he is played with kind of an open mind. Don't restrict yourself to one type of playstyle. Explore with this character. It will benefit you greatly in the long run. Whether that's playing as if I do, where you play like Magic with an ultimate that allows you to take space for free pretty much, or play them as a super duper heavy dive where you're constantly making sure that weak link is just exploited for everything they're worth and make them maul to the point where they're messing up even more. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have a good one. I want to say a big shout out to Cam for winning the giveaway. I'm waiting on the response of the other person, but if they don't respond to me by the middle of the afternoon tomorrow, I will be choosing a new person to win the giveaway. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I love you. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.